You are about to enter the fantasy football show. Please stand by like a boss. Estás entrado al fantasía fútbol novelas. Espera con el patrón. Smitty is live Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern.
Get on-demand one-on-one text advice with Smitty at thefantasyfootballshow.com.
You are about to enter the fantasy football show. Please stand by like a boss. Estás entrado al fantasía fútbol novelas. Espera con el patrón.
Get on-demand one-on-one text advice with Smitty at thefantasyfootballshow.com.
You are about to enter the fantasy football show. Please stand by like a boss. Estás entrado al fantasía fútbol novelas. Espera con el patrón. Smitty is live Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern. You are about to enter the fantasy football show. Please stand by like a boss. Estás entrado al fantasía fútbol novelas. Espera con el patrón. You are about to enter the fantasy football show. Please stand by like a boss. Estás entrado al fantasía.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern.
Buy low, sell high. Walking into week number 3, just in time for the Thursday night football game, the Steelers versus the Browns. We're all here for it, but it's time to get into buy low and sell high. And we're going to do it live. Normally, just like the waiver wire video, the panic chamber video, which are post-production videos, all dolled up and released in a premiere where you guys get to see this wonderful, edited video. Normally I do that with the buy low, sell high. Today we're going to do it live because I ran out of time and I want to make sure we're doing it and we're taking care of you. Now, we've got a lot of names on screen. Some of these players are going to fall in both categories. There are players like Christian McCaffrey, like Najee Harris, like Kamara that you could literally buy low and sell high at the same time. And that might be confusing to some people. I've had some comments where people say it's contradictory, Smitty. You're contradicting. You're a big walking contradictory. Smitty, you're a contradictory person, Smitty. Everything you do, your existence is contradictory. I get that all the time. That's fine. Not everybody's going to love what we have to offer here on the Fantasy Football Show, which in my opinion is greatness.
To the moon.
And we're taking this thing, we're at 14.4K. 14.4K. Thanks to all of you. I work for you. If I'm contradictory, you guys are as well because I work for you. Did you ever think of that? We're doing buy low, sell high. And let me tell you right now, Dirty, thank you for the super chat. Flex, who do I start? Bateman or Garrett Wilson? I go Bateman. But very, very close. Both are good. We are 13,000 and almost 400 walking contradictions. Attaboy. Who do we sell? Anybody want to throw a name out? We can talk about Najee Harris. He's definitely a sell high. Let's first, before the game gets closer to kickoff, in case you've got a deal that's pending, there is a name growing on screen. I know you're getting upset. You're getting hot and bothered right now. You're like, why is this name, this wonderful man, the number one running back in fantasy football through 2 weeks? Why is he growing on the screen? I don't know what's going on. Smitty, tell me you aren't talking about selling this man, Nick Chubb. You certainly couldn't buy him. Because he's the number one ranked running back in fantasy football right now. There's only one way to go with Nick Chubb, and I know you're not going to like this. If you own Nick Chubb, you're going to get upset at me. I'm not saying he's not good. I'm not telling you he won't continue to be a top 5 running back. I don't think he finishes number 1. I'll tell you that. And I've got something in my eye that I can't get out. I'm not saying he can't finish top 5. I'm telling you that he is such a good sell high right now because you can still get into very safe vehicles. Guys you love a lot that are undervalued. Go get a running back very similar and get a Kyle Pitts thrown in. Go get a running back that's very similar and go get a potential Breece Hall thrown in. You know, I think if you come away with this saying, why is Smitty telling you to sell? This is what casuals come in here. Casual Caleb's come in here and they say, don't listen to this guy in the comments. They'll never say it live, but they'll come in and they'll say it. They'll come in and say it later and say, they'll come in and say, why would you listen to this guy? Don't listen to this guy. Nick Chubb could finish as the number 1 overall running back. No one's saying he can't. Casual Caleb. No one is saying he can't. Nick Chubb is absolutely looking like fire right now. But that's the best time to sell. I don't know who needs the manual for buy low, sell high. I'll get to the super chats in a minute. Let them pile up. I'll come back and take care of all you. You know that's how we roll. Who lost the manual to how to buy low, sell high? Who lost it? I think Worried William lost it. I think Casual Caleb lost it. I think Upset Unger lost it. This is the best time to buy low, sell high. I don't care if the player's going crazy. I don't care if you're talking about JT. You can't sell. Did this guy really say to sell JT? Yes, I did. If you have to, Caleb. If you have to, you may not have to. You may be in a position where you're absolutely going bonkers. Why would you sell a player like JT? If you're number 1 in your league, you're 2-0, and you're first in points or second in points, or even if you're 1-1, but your team's absolute straight fire, you know you're going to be okay. You don't need to sell Nick Chubb. You don't need to sell Justin Jefferson. Should you entertain an amazing offer, an offer you can't refuse? The answer is yes. But Smitty, why on earth would I trade somebody that's doing good? Because you, if you're smart, Caleb, can go in and get a Jamar Chase and a running back that you should have no business getting on top of Jamar Chase for Nick Chubb. If you could give me Kyle Pitts and Jamar Chase for Nick Chubb, do you think I'm not going to take that? I will take that all day long. Smitty approved. Smitty approved all day long. Why would I pass on such a deal, Caleb? Why? Chubb is a sell high. He's also a hold. He's not a buy low as well because you can't buy him low. But Chubb is a sell high if you need a deal. No question about it, 100%. Mick, Sid, in the chat, can you stop talking in all caps, please? It's driving everybody crazy because not only are you commenting, and I appreciate your passion, but the caps got to go, bro. This isn't 1999 anymore. Hit the little caps lock on your keyboard. Free yourself from the yelling. I'm doing enough yelling. We don't need you yelling in the chat as well. It's getting people anxious. I make people anxious enough. Who's doing what though, Jazzy? A lot of people, or Aaron, a lot of people are making these trades. Another funny thing is when people say that that no one's making these trades, Smitty. No one's gonna trade you Jamar Chase and Kyle Pitts for Nick Chubb. Are you out of your minds? I see it every single day. I have a text line. I'm telling you, this is better than ADP. My text line, because I have so many text messages coming in on the every 2 hours. I see so much volume of concern that I know exactly who everybody's wanting to get rid of, because I see it in volume, in chunks. I have, hey, Kyle Pitts for Higbee. What are you talking about, trading Kyle Pitts away for Higbee, Bob? You know, I get this question all the time. Higbee, someone wanted to trade Higbee today for Kyle Pitts. Somebody wanted to trade get J-Rob for their Kyle Pitts. Somebody wanted to trade Everett or get Everett for their Kyle Pitts. So when I say, when whoever asked that question, I already forget who was, when they said to me, but who's going to do that, Smitty? About 70% of leagues will have people in the league that will do this. Maybe 30% don't. Maybe your league doesn't trade at all, and you're saying to me, no one's going to accept that trade, Smitty, because no one in your league will accept the trade. And that I can't help. I can't help if you play with 11 other worried Williams. If you have maybe 4 or 5 worried Williams, I bet you get a deal done like that. People that own Kyle Pitts are giving him away. The stress of holding Kyle Pitts, not doing what they had paid him to do, reminds them of terror and sadness, and they want to just do anything to wipe the slate clean. Just take him. Take him. The other person that sent me a text today, should I trade Everett or Kyle Pitts away for Everett? I like Everett, but what are you guys thinking? No. The answer is no. You can get the moon for Chubb right now because he's currently on the moon. And if you're smart about Nick Chubb and you don't just say, well, he's doing so good, Smitty. I mean, why would I trade? Why would you trade? Because buying low and selling high is how you do it. If you've got a stock that's going up, you have Apple stock. It's hit an all-time high. Why would I sell Apple stock, Smitty, if it's at an all-time high? Because it could drop, Caleb. It could drop, and you could come in and buy a low stock that you love in Jamar Chase, and buy a low stock that you love in Kyle Pitts, and walk into the coming weeks with the shift in values happening, and then you smile all the way to the bank when you got yourself a Jamar Chase and Kyle Pitts for Nick Chubb. Or you got yourself some kind of massive quarterback upgrade and Jamar Chase for Nick Chubb. You lost Dak Prescott and you lost Trey Lance because you had them coupled together on your team. You got no quarterback. You go ahead and you make a trade where you get Joseph Burrow and Jamar Chase for Nick Chubb, because that helps your team so much better. And the guy that owns Burrow's given up on him. He picked up Tua. He's going to rock with Tua. He's got Burrow going to the bench. He's got Jamar Chase. He sees you with Nick Chubb. Feels like a win-win to him. And it feels like a win-win-win for you to acquire this kind of talent. So take it. Don't twist it up, but take the information in. You've got a little bit of time left to make a Nick Chubb trade before he goes out here and plays against a pretty tough defense that is banged up. But the other component here is that Kareem Hunt is ultra involved. Kareem Hunt is ultra involved in this offense, and things have to go very, very good, solid, and be fluid for Chubb to do the damage he's continuing to do right now through 2 weeks, the remainder of the season. Not to mention he does have the potential injury risk a little bit more. He's shaking the label a little bit free, but I do believe he's got a little bit more of an injury risk than the average running back, with the knees, with the mileage that adds up, with the fact that he does majority of all of his work between the tackles. Majority of the work between the tackles. Jamar and Pitts for Chubb. What side do you see? This is the problem, David. I don't even know what side you're laughing on. I don't even know what's because you could easily be laughing on the why would I trade the number 1 running back in fantasy football through 2 weeks side, or you could easily be laughing on the why would I trade for Jamar Chase? Kyle Pitts isn't doing well at all. David, this is perspective. There's no need for 2 crying emojis. I'll accept 1, but 2 crying emojis with this comment? No, David, no. The answer is no to that. It is an astounding no. Nick Chubb is the number one running back in fantasy football right now. Take advantage of it in a buy low, sell high situation. So what you're saying is Chubb does all his own stunts. Absolutely. Get David getting the work. I love you, Smitty. I appreciate and love all of you. Yes, Jordan, we're doing the buy low, sell high video live this week, but we'll get back to it being a normal upload video next week, where it's a live premiere and it's more post-production. Although I think we're going pretty production and edit free at this point. This is a pretty fluid show. We're staying fluid. Fluid is the word of the week. Stay fluid, stay liquid. You know, everybody's got to stay fluid. Nathaniel Hackett's got to stay fluid. Get the ball out there to Javonte Williams. Javonte Williams to the moon. I mean, Javonte Williams, while we're on the topic, why don't we just talk about Javonte Williams? Let me change this one. Let me copy this over. Javonte, lowercase letters doesn't matter. You know, maybe we need a little more lowercase letters up in this mug because I got some people with the caps lock on over in the chat. I'm doing enough yelling for all of us. We don't need any more yelling in the chat. Why is Javonte in the sell, Smitty? He's a buy. You don't sell Javonte. I'm sorry. Stay fluid. Javonte Williams is being disrespected like mad right now. Disrespected like mad. Because why? Because Hackett is a horrible coach and decision maker. Granted, that does kind of make us angry, right? And it does limit his ability. Thank you. Wearing the polo, I do wear these quite often, for some reason not on the show, and I thought today, you know what, I'm going to look clean. We're going into Thursday Night Football. Time for a little professionalism. Got the backwards hat on and the polo. That's the way I roll. This is about the most you see me dress up, but I do dress up in this fashion quite often when I'm out and about. But anyways, Javonte Williams, walking into week number 3, still has his owners panicked. Why? They're afraid. This is called I want to break up with you before you break up with me syndrome. And what a lot of owners are doing right now is they worry so much about Hackett, who is holding them back. But it's important to keep in mind a couple things. Number one, Hackett is feeding him. He got a 15 to 10 carry divide split between him and Melvin Gordon in week number 2. That is a positive takeaway. A very, very positive takeaway. 15 carries for Javonte, 10 carries for Melvin Gordon. Week 1, Javonte pulled in 11 receptions. And if you come in here and say, but Smitty, I don't play in a PPR league. Your grandma even plays in PPR. We confirmed the other day, your grandma plays in PPR. How do you not play in PPR? How do you allow your league for yet another year to continue down the road of non-PPR? I can't really help you if you're playing an old school non-PPR. PPR is the thing. That's the ticket. It's how Dad did it. I don't want to hear that complaint anymore because that's your own fault. Okay? Javonte pulled at 11 receptions in week number 1. He got 15 carries to Melvin Gordon's 10 in week number 2. The touchdown decision making, the carries at the 1 yard line, you're first and goal. You have a guy that averages 87 yards per carry in Javonte Williams, and you decide to do different weird plays. Let's give it to the fullback. maybe he'll pitch it to Javonte. Yeah, I've got an idea. We're gonna draw this up on the marker board, Bill. Okay, this is Hackett. Everybody gather around. This is what we're gonna do when we're near the goal line. Here's the goal line. Okay. When we're at the 2 yard line, or wherever we were, we're going to do this right here. Flex capacitor 7. That is where we give it to the fullback instead of Javonte. Okay. And the fullback's going to sprint as fast as he can this way. And Javonte, one of the more quick and agile tackle breaking monsters we've seen in a couple decades here, he's going to sprint as fast as he can this way. Now, the thinking here is that if we give the fullback the football and he can sprint as fast as he can without falling down, and Javonte doesn't rip past him too quickly, there's a possibility that there's a juncture here where the ball can be handed off to Javonte. And even though Javonte's got to slow down during this time frame because he's so fast, we think it'll make him fresh. and then he can take off real strong and fast like right here because he'll be well rested by the time he gets to the checkpoint handoff point. So they hand off the ball right here. The fullback's going to come in. He's going to pitch it to Javonte, and then somebody in the back, the intern, says, Nathaniel, I have a question. If Javonte Williams is the faster man, is it possible that during this juncture right here, you just have Javonte just carry the ball the whole way, and that way when he gets to the handoff point, he's actually probably further along? Hackett fired this kid immediately. This kid raised his hand during the meeting and said this. Hackett immediately fired him. And so this was the play that was drawn up. That's true. That's a true fake story. And we're back to the buy low, sell high video. Javonte, buy him now, buy him now, buy him now, buy him now. People are freaking out. People are a little bit worried. They think that they need to break up with him before he breaks up with them. That's the way it kind of works. Breaking up with the player before they hurt you. Don't be afraid of Javonte. He's not going anywhere. He's reliable. He's committed to you. He's a one-owner man. He's not going to go out, and get some kind of side owner or anything like that. This guy's well committed to you. Don't break up with him. And go to the owner that has him and see if you can test the relationship between the two and try and pry him away from that owner's very loose grip. Stay fluid. Get in there and say, hey, I'll give you this guy that's been going off on my bench here for 2 weeks, that no one cared about. And Jeff Wilson. I've seen this with Jeff Wilson. You pick up Jeff Wilson, and I know he's probably picked up already, but if you own Jeff Wilson, you can take that pickup, that house's money, and you can literally add to Jeff Wilson another player that is ranked below Javonte, and now use the house's money to get Javonte pulled over onto your team. So I feel like it's crazy that you can buy him outside of like top 20 value still when he had 11 receptions in week 1. We do worry about Nathaniel Hackett drawing up plays like this on the regular, where it's fullback, right, flex capacitor 7. Fullback will meet you by the big tree, and he'll give you the ball. Javonte runs around, and he's waiting for a couple minutes, looking at the time. Where is he? Where is he with the football? Fullback gets to it. Fullback even decided, I don't know if you watched this play. This is a true play I dialed up. I mean, I kind of fabricated the conversation around drawing it up on the board. But when this play actually happened on the field, it did happen. The fullback literally was going to pitch it to Javonte, and then he didn't. And then he kept it. And Javonte kept running, and it's like, wow. This play was actually drawn up on a board somewhere, and someone thought this was a great idea. So I don't know. What's going on here in the chat? Someone better not be causing problems. I'm not dealing with that today. If you come in causing problems, you're going to be timed out. Someone's going to warn me. Then we'll give you another chance. But no one cause problems in the chat, please. I don't know if someone is doing that. I saw potential problem. I'm not sure. I'm not getting involved today because last time I got involved, it ended up making a problem that wasn't a problem worse. But anyway, Javonte, go buy. Ekeler is a massive buy low. He can't hang in the sell high category because you can't sell him high for anything. Javonte can't linger in both categories because Javonte doesn't have high value right now. Javonte's in the buy. Ekeler's in the buy. Ekeler is a buy low for 100 different reasons. Are we worried about his workload? Are we worried about how they're using the tight end now? That's possible that he gets a lot of his receptions dialed back, I suppose, but it's 2 weeks into this thing. And Ekeler has been known to slump and then come back and have an absolute, touchdown explosion fest. So I'm fully expecting Ekeler at his cost of entry to be worth the buy low type of situation. Throw the buy low at him. Go throw a couple players, 2-for-1s, get it done. He's one of the better buy lows walking into the season. Let's get Najee on the board here before the game starts because this would be the right time to talk about him. They haven't started yet. I want to make sure if anybody's got a trade like pending right now and it has to do with Najee, let's get it done. So Najee Harris is going to live in both categories because there are scenarios where Najee Harris is a buy low. There are scenarios where he's a sell high. The people that own him that have that, I want to break up with you before you break up with me syndrome. They will be in a situation where they're maybe underselling him. So you want to poke around and see. I would then, to be clear, potentially gift wrap Javonte back or Najee back up. Maybe you give him a car wash, whatever. Get him a new polo like this, and then go to another owner and try and sell for a higher value than you got back. Flip. It's called flipping. Okay, so you buy Najee low, and then you flip him. Okay, you flip him. You tape up his ankle and foot, and you tell him everybody's good to go. You go see I know a guy, a doctor. He'll write a clean bill of health for Najee. You hand that clean bill of health with Najee to the opposing owner, and you can flip him later. But there are plenty of opportunities to buy low on Najee. But if you own him, panic chamber time, we talked about it. He's in the panic chamber. If you own Najee, he's in the panic chamber. If you own Najee, you are exploring getting rid of him by going and getting an Alvin Kamara who's on the buy list. Alvin Kamara is a fantastic buy. So can you get rid of Najee for Kamara straight up? I mean, you try and get something, but if you can't get something, you definitely should explore doing it straight up. But I would for sure sell Najee for Kamara. Sell Najee for Javonte straight up. Sell Najee for Ekeler straight up. Sell Najee for Kamara straight up. But also look to try and add Dameon Pierce, Breece Hall, Kenneth Walker. I don't care if it's DK Metcalf. You can get little throw-ins like that if someone's worried. If someone's sitting there saying, I don't want Najee anymore. The headaches are killing me. I haven't slept in 2 weeks, Smitty. They're willing to throw in a guy that's disappointing them. They're willing to give you Kyle Pitts and Najee for your I don't know, Higbee and whatever you're giving them, so then you can maybe upgrade another position. I am all in on selling Najee. I am all in on buying him, but in very unique situations where you're not taking the risk on that currently exists with the foot injury. Understand what I'm saying? When you buy a player that's also on the sell high list, you can't go near the value that we're running from and trying to get on the sell side of things. It's a very, 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 touch and go thing. So, yeah, of course, Swaggy's going to come in with negativity because that's all Swaggy does. Sorry, Swaggy, but it's the truth. No matter what I say, you hold back, you wait, and then you come back with a negative stance. So I'm here to address this. I knew you were going to say this. I knew someone was going to come in and say, but nobody. First of all, don't say nobody. Swaggy, your league may not be. The world doesn't revolve around Swaggy. You aren't the sun. Just because your league doesn't do it. Do you understand that if I just took your approach and said no one's doing it according to Swaggy, that there would be about 500 people out of 1,500 that have contacted me this week through the text line that would not get a straight up Javonte, Ekeler, or Kamara, that I have confirmation through my text line that probably, I would say, a sum total of 100 people in the last week have gotten exactly what I just described to you, have in some cases gotten a little more. So you can't use blanket statement, Swaggy, just because you're seeing something in your league. Let me ask you a question, Swaggy. Have you ever made a trade you regretted the moment you've made it? You would hit the undo button if you could. The answer is yes. So don't act like you can't go do something ridiculous because somebody else isn't capable of being in a vulnerable spot. They're in their car. They're upset about something that happened in their day, and they're on the teeter-totter point of making a stupid decision, Swaggy. It happens all the time. So we can't cater to the expert league out there all the time where somebody's not doing, they would not do this. They know better than to do this, Swaggy. The fantasy football community's full of casual Calebs that don't know what they're doing. If I don't approach it from every level, Swaggy, there will be people that will, and I'm telling you because I have over at least 100 guaranteed swaps that I've seen confirmed through my text line, where people even questioned it and said, what'd you take? I got this offer, Smitty. I got this offer, Smitty. And not to make anybody feel bad on the text line, but I got this offer, Smitty, where I'm getting Javonte straight up for Najee. Should I do it? I know, bro. I know. I see it every single day. So if I don't address it, someone out there's not going to get it, Swaggy. They're going to think they can't offer this kind of trade. You know what I'm saying? Back to Swaggy's comment, because I'm kind of glad Swaggy said this, though, because I'm waiting for it. If you would trade AK for Najee, you were out of your mind. Oh, God, Swaggy, The world, let's put Swaggy in the middle of the show. The world centers around Swaggy's league and his exact mindset, because everybody thinks smart, right, Swaggy? You're thinking smart here. I'm giving you an underhanded compliment right here. The world revolves around Swaggy. We're going to put him right center stage. So if it can't happen with Swaggy, it can't happen. You might as well not even explore it, is what I'm saying. I'm glad Swaggy actually said this, because so many people come in and say these things, and it makes me scratch my head. I just don't understand the mindset that you think you can't get away with a trade that's advantageous to you. You have to go out and get an even Steven trade. Let me go find a trade that works for everybody, because that's what I like to do. I like to make everybody happy. I like to go get an even Steven trade. And even in diehard leagues, Swaggy, these things happen. Swaggy, let me ask you a question. You're saying that you play, here's what he says, I don't play in those casual leagues, I play in big boy leagues. Does everybody here play in big boy leagues, Swaggy? Are we again going to ignore that someone out here is playing in their work league, that they're trying to work their work league mates over, and I'm supposed to just only cater to Swaggy related content? Because that's what you're basically saying. Second of all, Swaggy, you're telling me in your big boy league full of all these sharks and snakes that are too big to listen to this show. They're too advanced. In fact, if you told them about the show, they'd probably go, huh, I have my own content. It's in my head, and I don't need to listen to Smitty or anybody else. I am the master of my own domain. I stay fluid on my own. I don't need Smitty telling me to stay fluid. Even if you play in that league, Swaggy, let's pretend you do. You're telling me that there's never a bad trade that comes across your email inbox where you're like, oh crap, Bob just traded that. Are you out of your mind, Bob? Are you out of your mind? Do you really believe, can you really confirm with us right now, Swaggy, you have never seen a trade come across your inbox that you were like, why did he make that trade? You've never seen a Nick Chubb, or a Najee Harris for Javonte, or Najee Harris for Ekeler, or a Najee Harris for Kamara ever get executed in your league? Please, Swaggy, we're waiting. Tell me, have you never seen a trade of that proportion executed in your trade? Let's go ahead and wait for Swaggy. I'll sit here and I hope he answers us. I would love to know. I would love to know. I'm waiting. I'm waiting, Swaggy. I'm waiting. Ever? Never, ever have you ever seen a lopsided trade in your league? I'm waiting to hear. I'm waiting to hear. As we wait for Swaggy to comment and give some sort of snapback response that doesn't even answer the question, it does, Smitty. I'm just saying in general. Okay, thank you, Swaggy. Thank you for triple stamping the double stamp and confirming everything I just said. You just basically confirmed we wasted about 10 minutes of arguing back and forth because you just admitted this could happen. Thank you, Swaggy. I don't know what to do here. Nobody is giving those running backs for Najee. I love that he asked this question, though, because it can happen and you might have to give up more. So in the situation where Swaggy's talking about, where everybody knows what they're doing, he plays with nothing but, 10 out of 10 sharks. These are the best fantasy football players in the world. He assembled the best fantasy football community on the planet. You may have to give up more. Guess what you can do? If you can't pull off a Javonte for Najee, if you can't pull off an Ekeler for Najee, if you can't pull off a Kamara for Najee, you got guys like Curtis Samuel popping off and people loving what they're throwing down. I'm not against Curtis Samuel. You guys think I am? You can add Curtis Samuel to the mix. You can add a potential player. Let me just look at a list of rankings here and give you a couple names. You can throw in a potential Kareem Hunt if you had to, and you didn't really feel like Kareem Hunt was going to be a viable every week starter for you. You could throw in a DJ Moore. You could throw in a Zeke Elliott, who you don't believe in anyway. You could throw in a potential injured Jerry Jeudy. You could throw in a Christian Kirk, who's a very good, I don't want to get Ron Navy mad in here, but he's a very good add-in and a very good hold. Ron Navy, I like Christian Kirk. Keep your Kirk safe and snug and tight. Ron, I totally support, the holding of Christian Kirk. But a good throw in a Godwin who I don't think will stay healthy. Do you understand the vibe I'm throwing down, Swaggy? You add something you don't really need on your team because you got a lot of depth. You throw it in, and then you get Najee Harris. LL, guys in the panic mode after week 2. A guy tried to offer me Metcalf and more for Javonte and Hollywood. Yeah, you're going to get the flip side of people offering ridiculous trades. Add something if you have to. I've seen cases where people have gotten Kyle Pitts and something in a swap like Najee. It's crazy. I've seen it all. I do appreciate Swaggy on some level asking those questions because they're important questions. They're important things to talk about. Derrick Henry is an absolute sell. I mean, there are very few scenarios, and they have emerged, where someone has said, hey, should I buy Derrick Henry? And I'm like, you out of your mind. Why would you buy? But I'm going to be giving up J-Rob and Drake London. You know, who I like Drake London. I want you to understand that. But Drake London and J-Rob, and I'm getting Henry. Then it's like, okay, buy, but caveat, sell him. Buy him, flip him. Okay? Buy him and flip him. There are said scenarios. 400 of you watching, only 104 thumbs up. Please punch that thumb up button. There are scenarios where I buy Derrick Henry where someone's giving him away. I know Swaggy would never see that offer in the light of day. There's just no way in his hardcore snake league where he's going to see someone do something like that. I've been approached. It's been on the live stream even where people have said, hey, I got offered Drake London and J-Rob, or I got offered Zeke Elliott for Derrick Henry, and all I had to do was give up, you know, a backup quarterback like Tua, who I don't need, Tua and Zeke for Henry. Then I say punch it, then flip Henry, or you ride the wave as long as it goes. Maybe Henry bounces back this week, has a big game, does a couple good things, then tanks, and you trade him in between. Like, I'm willing to ride that wave at a very low cost of entry. Past those scenarios, which are very, very extremely rare, this is the biggest sell high walking into week number 3 that I've seen in the last like 10 years. The mileage is there. 28 years old. You don't do it at 28 anymore. Is 26, 27 is in between the drop-off age for running backs. It dates back to the league becoming a hard-hitting league, a harder-hitting league, bigger, stronger guys jumping on top of you. We had Eric Davis, former 49er defensive standout, come in and talk about this on our show when I prefaced, hey, is the reason, let me know what you think, is the reason that running backs aren't lasting the same amount of time anymore through 29, 30, now it's 26, 27, because the game's stronger, faster, the brute force of every hit driving a running back into the ground is just stronger, and it adds up. And he said, yes, that was his theory as well, that you're just getting hit stronger, harder, faster, and from a younger age. You're taking more abuse from harder, stronger hitting players, bigger defensive linemen, jumping on your back, wearing your knees and cartilage down, giving you arthritis earlier. That all starts at a very, 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 very younger age than normal. So by the time a running back gets to college, they're more worn down unnoticeably, and then when they get to the pros, they're more worn down unnoticeably, but then they last shorter amount of time. You also have the season one game longer, which if you think about that, I know that just began, but this could, my point is, this could lower that age from 26, 27 to 26, because now you have a running back in a 5-year career playing an extra 5 games now that you have the extra game. So now a running back could drop off at 26 for sure instead of 26, 27. Derrick Henry's 28, 900 carries within a 2-year a 2.5 year span. In 2.5 years, 900 carries. Christian McCaffrey just crossed over 800 yards on his career. All that, bad offensive line, injured offensive line, bad offense, stack boxes. Henry's going to have trouble finding the hole. Henry's the biggest sell right now on planet Earth. Jamar Chase is not a sell whatsoever because he's undervalued across the board. He's one of the better buy lows right now, as is his quarterback, Joseph Cigar Smoking Burrow, who's ranking in probably, I would say, around like ridiculous 7, 8, 9 quarterback ranking value going forward. So if there's ever a quarterback to go get if you lost Dak or you lost Lance or somehow you lost both, it is cigar smoking Joseph Burrow, because you can go get this guy and Jamar Chase at way lower value than is even like worrisome. Like, you could buy Joe Burrow at QB 7 or 8 value right now. That package is in all the risk in the world. He could get hurt, and your season wouldn't even be in jeopardy if you bought him at that kind of value. Same thing with Jamar Chase. You're buying him probably at borderline tottering between round 1 and 2, or maybe into round 2. Like, if we started a draft over today, you probably would see Jamar Chase get drafted at the top of round 2, not at 5, 6, or 7. The guy almost had 3 TDs in week number 1. He didn't convert on 2 of them. He did grab 1. He got 100 yards. Didn't have a big week number 2, but either did Joe Burrow, which will affect Jamar Chase. So this duo is fantastic. They're still going to the moon, 100%. Don't worry about it. Buy low. Don't freak out. Be patient if you own both. Go attack them if you don't, because the owners are in. I want to break up. Smitty, I would like to break up with Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow right now. You led me down the wrong path. They don't look as good as you said. We're 2 weeks in, Bob. Worried William, calm down. If you can't handle the heat, don't enter the kitchen at all. And just go play your magazine draft off a magazine next time. This is a dice rolling situation. We don't know when they rebound. Probably is the New York Jets this week. If they don't, we have a little bit more reason to put them in the panic chamber next week. But I won't be all out if they struggle a little bit, because they're still trying to work through the offensive line issues. But I just want you all to know. Ron, I gotta interrupt with the Ron Navy King Henry tweet here, or Ron Navy. But Smitty, I tweeted King Henry and gave him motivational talk to, so watch out for King Henry moving forward. Thank you, Ron Navy. I do appreciate Ron Navy. You know, he is very, very good at identifying some of these players that like Curtis Samuel. He liked Curtis Samuel before Curtis Samuel really was fully accepted. He's liked Christian Kirk the whole offseason. I think Ron Navy has a good eye for these things. I do think we differ here, and I know he's a big supporter of D. Henry, and I appreciate the loyalty. There's nothing wrong with differing opinions. So if you still believe in Derrick Henry, if you still believe in Najee Harris, and you think nothing's going to happen to him, I want to make it a point of emphasis that I am your guide, but I shouldn't be making any decisions for you. You make your own decisions, and I'm going to be wrong at least in the best week ever of buy low, sell high. I couldn't be right on more than 70% of these, and there's going to be times where I'm 50-50 because injuries happen. Matchups, account for different things that you think something's going to go a certain way, and somebody steps up and the defense plays a lot better. Like, there's so many, a turnover early in the game. Weather could take a turn in the last second. I could give advice today and weather's bad on Saturday, and somebody watched today's show, didn't watch Saturday's. There's a lot of reasons I'm going to miss on some of this, and I want to make it clear that you need to make your own decision. You need to use me as a guide. If you're on the fence about something, let me help you. But don't take what I say and just go do it if you don't agree with it. You know what I'm saying? So if you like Derrick Henry, stick with your Derrick Henry stance, but consider what I'm saying. And if you're on the fence about it, maybe it helps you push you over the edge on something you're already kind of uneasy about. Now, I'm going to sell Fournette all day long, but I will give this caveat for the Fournette owner. Let me make this really abundantly clear here, because we're going to get somebody that's going to come in next week and say something weird. And make it real weird in the chat. Fournette could have a really big week. They're down wide receivers. He's like 80% of the plays on 80% of the snaps, which is a really good number. And with the whole entire wide receiver room injured, he could have a big PPR day. He could have a big day on the ground. He is injured and hampered. I would definitely make sure Rachaad White's not on waivers if your league has big benches at all, because we're walking into a week where he's going to be overutilized, and with the hamstring injury and being banged up, this could be a problem, right? This could lead to further injury. This could lead to a lot of things. So Fournette needs to be handcuffed if you own him. If you see Rachaad White out there and you don't own Fournette, grab him and hold him. This could be a brutal week, but it could also be a big week. And I would sell off, even not knowing what's going to go on. And let's say you told me, Smitty, I got a crystal ball. That crystal ball, it says Fournette's going to have 140 total yards and a touchdown. Are you still selling him now, Smitty? He had a great week number 3. I'm telling you, this matchup and all that's going into it could potentially produce a really good outing for Leonard Fournette. But I would sell off of that next week. So if you're going to sell him, you may want to hold him. It's a risk that he gets hurt, but you may want to hold him and then send him into week number 4 to another team on the high, and you could go get a Ekeler, Kamara, Javonte, whoever ends up struggling again this coming week, because slumps happen. Some players slump for 4 or 5 weeks. I'm not going to panic on all 3 of these running backs if 2 of them, let's say, have another mediocre outing. That's the nature of fantasy football. It's the nature of fantasy football. But anyway, CMC, I don't think you can sell him high, so we won't even talk about that, but I'd definitely buy him low. He kind of falls into the same bucket of if you're getting rid of Najee and something, you could probably get CMC. If you're getting rid of Nick Chubb, you could probably get CMC in a little bump somewhere, or another player, Damian Pierce, a potential Kenny Walker. You could trade Chubb into CMC and get a little bit of a bump. Lamb, you could buy Lamb. I suppose Lamb could be on this side too. We'll put him on both sides. I don't love buying Lamb. I'll put Lamb right here. So in terms of the buy, I don't love buying Lamb. First of all, I don't eat lamb chops. But Lamb is like a crafty buy if you're getting him like a wide receiver 3 value, which in some cases you actually can get him at wide receiver 3 value. And again, kind of like similar to buying a Najee Harris. I would do it to flip him. So if I did buy Lamb, I'd either buy him at wide receiver 3 value, and if I couldn't get rid of him at a much higher cost, I would keep him. I would play him as my wide receiver 3. Touchdowns might not be there, but the yardage could. But I'm selling him. And I know that I'm selling him kind of low, or at least medium. But I believe that if you package Lamb with like a player like Wilson, Jeff Wilson, the running back for the Niners that I think won't hold on to the job. Lamb and Wilson could probably get you a tiny itty bitty bump in wide receiver value. Lamb for A.J. Brown. I would take A.J. Brown straight up for Lamb, but if I've got to give something small to make it happen, I would, and that's kind of where Lamb becomes a valuable sell. You package him with something. Maybe you've got Tua. This is why picking up Tua, picking up Jeff Wilson, even if you don't believe in these guys, picking up Jordan Mason, even if you're unsure, having these valuable components, the house's money because they were on waivers, to add to a Lamb to upgrade Lamb into Higgins or A.J. Brown. Lamb to Higgins, Lamb to A.J. Brown, Lamb to Debo with a much bigger kick in. You got to kick in something a little different. Those are the targets for Lamb to upgrade. Higgins, Debo, but that's a higher reach, but Higgins and A.J. Brown. You do that, you're in good shape. Let's get to the questions. I appreciate everybody dropping super chats. I'm going to go to the very top and start knocking these off one by one as we watch the game on the side. Dirty, I got to your question. I appreciate your super chat. This one is from Megas. Mega says, James Robinson, is he a sell high, and for who? I'd absolutely sell him high. The guys, look, I understand he's looking good because he's scoring touchdowns, but he's averaging 3.8 yards per carry. Let's not act like he's some world beater and he's totally just taking the league by storm and the world by storm. He's not. He's not conquering planet Earth right now. He is looking better than I ever expected, but that's because he's still playing. It's not because he looks super good. He's got 3.8 yards per carry. You can't really look good at 3.8 yards a pop. He's a must sell. I go after Damian Pierce. I go after Breece Hall, even if I've got to give up more. I go after DK straight up. I definitely go after Kyle Pitts, use a tight end. Even if you had Hawkinson, trade Hawkinson and J-Rob for Kyle Pitts. Those are all moves that I would make without a hesitation, without an equivocation, without a stutter step, without even calling mom and asking for advice, or without calling Smitty and asking him for advice. But you should get on my text line over on thefantasyfootballshow.com. Why? Because it's the one place you go for content like bold predictions, trade calculators that are year-round, rankings, looking forward rankings that are year-round, weekly rankings, articles, bold predictions, all that stuff. Get on over to thefantasyfootballshow.com. This one from Overcome just offered Russell Wilson, Higgins, Aaron Jones, Allen and Chase. Russell Wilson, Higgins, Aaron Jones for Allen and Chase. I like the Allen and Chase side a little bit better, but it is, especially because you have Ekeler and Swift already, I think you can afford to make that potential, move, because Allen is such a beast, bro. He's such an upgrade over Russell Wilson that Aaron Jones and Higgins for Jamar Chase, even though you could argue that that's probably better value 2 for 1, you're getting the Josh Allen side. So I think it could be a wash. I wouldn't be crazy to call it like an even trade, but I like the Josh Allen side better. It gives me more security. I feel like more solid with the team that you have. Should I bench Kyle Pitts this week for Zach Ertz? No. Get nervous all you want, but Eric, we're coming for your Kyle Pitts. You are the exact owner I'm trying to pry Kyle Pitts from. You want to break up with him. You're already going to sit him on the bench for a side piece, and I don't agree with it. Eric, I don't agree with it. I appreciate your super chat. You're to the moon. You're to the moon, but that little fear is not. That fear is disapproved. That thinking is
wrong. Muy mal.
Don't let that thinking creep in. Could Ertz outscore him? Sure, bro, but are you going to be sick to your stomach? Are you going to sleep the next evening at all if Kyle Pitts goes out and has 150 yards or something, or 55 yards and 2 touchdowns or something? Are you going to sleep well at night knowing you drafted him in the 3rd to 4th round, and after 2 measly weeks, you're going to sit him down for Zach Ertz, who could get hurt during the game because he's so injury prone? You can't do it, Eric. You can't do it. You're going to take a lap if you do it. I wouldn't do it. Trust your gut, I suppose, but I don't know. Traded Zeke, Taysom for Dillon and Hawkinson. Let me just tell you a little something about this trade. I'm pressing a button. Do you know which button I'm pressing? You traded Zeke and Taysom for Dillon and Hawkinson?
You've just been Smitty approved.
Fantastic trade. Dillon and Hawkinson crush Taysom, Hill, and Zeke. Absolutely crush it. Excellent trade. Love it. Love it. NPR's my boy. New addition to the text line. NPR, appreciate you. NPR to the moon.
To the moon.
NPR asks, trade away Higbee and Mike Williams for Pitts and Gabe Davis. Yeah, smash. First of all, I quietly, don't tell anybody. Okay, don't tell a single soul. This is between me and you, NPR. I would quietly in a vacuum where there's no trade value or anything, I would rather have Gabe Davis over Mike Williams. And I would rather have Kyle Pitts over Higbee by a mile. You know that. So you're winning both sides of this trade. All right, everybody take their earmuffs off. KCM says, Smitty, I got Garrett Wilson, Nico Collins for Gallup. That's a home run. Why are we on Gallup? What did Gallup ever do in the last decade that has impressed you? Has he ever even played? I don't even know how many games this guy's even played. I don't remember what Gallup even looks like. If I saw Gallup walk into my studio right here, if Gallup came in this door right here and walked in, I would say, "Who are you? What are you doing in my studio?" I wouldn't recognize him. I don't even know what his picture looks like. I literally don't. I haven't pulled up Gallup's photo in years to put him on a graphic or talk about him. I don't even understand what people are doing. Start Wilson over Thielen. I'd probably go Garrett Wilson, but that's close. I mean, Thielen's capable. Who can I package in a trade to sell Samuel? I'm going after Dameon Pierce hardcore right now before week number 3 starts because I think he'll be hard to get. Kenneth Walker, I think coming back and then not doing well, even though we knew that was going to happen. They were easing him back. Might have disappointed his owners. You might have to give more, but those are the kind of deals I'm going. Got offer Pittman, Higgins, Thielen for Jamar Chase and Gabe Davis. You're telling me you gave up Pittman, Higgins, and Thielen for just Chase and Gabe Davis?
You've just been Smitty approved.
Chase and Gabe Davis crushed that side of the deal. I'm going to say just when I thought you couldn't go out and do something more ridiculous, you go out and totally redeem yourself and you get Jamar Chase and Gabe Davis. Jamar Chase is the better side of this trade. Look, take Thielen and just remove him for a second. We don't even need to incorporate him. He's not a deal, winner or anything like that. He's not any kind of kicker. Oh, I'll throw in Thielen. Really? Okay, let's do it. So Higgins for Gabe Davis. I like Higgins more, but Gabe Davis can hang. He could hang with Higgins. Let's not disrespect Gabe Davis. We came out of week 1 with Gabe Davis on our shoulders as a wide receiver 1. Maybe a low-end wide receiver 1. But Gabe Davis was absolute fire in week 1, and then he was injured in week 2, and everybody just kind of jumped ship. And I understand that, but like he could hang with Higgins, okay? So even if we just take those two out, then it's Jamar Chase versus Pittman. And then if you bring back in the Higgins for Gabe Davis advantage you may have, it's like Jamar Chase over Pittman. I like Pittman a lot. Same thing I just said about Gabe Davis can be said about Pittman and Higgins because they were both out, and people forget how good they could all three be. But this is an easy trade for me to do, William. William, this is totally Smitty. So appreciate your question, appreciate your super chat. I work for you. Thank you so much for commenting, and we got a $10 holler to the moon.
To the moon.
To the moon goes Megas with another maybe a stupid question. There are no stupid questions, Megas. Well, let me be the judge of that. Would you trade AJ Brown for Ekeler? I would take Ekeler, but that's not a dumb question. That is just, they're about a half a round to a round apart. So you would want to get Ekeler. If you traded AJ Brown and got Ekeler, that's a big win. If you had Ekeler, you'd want to get AJ Brown and like a Breece Hall, AJ Brown and a Damian Pierce at least, or something. AJ Brown and Pitts for Ekeler. You could get all those things done. Current team is Rodgers. Yeah. Absolute smash if you can get Ekeler. I don't even need to see your team. Value for value, that is a trade you need to make, even if Rock Out joined the YouTube exclusive memberships. It might have been a renewal, but I absolutely appreciate you, Rock Out.
To the moon.
You might see a couple of those kind of rolling as the people renew on their anniversary date, like Michael K. CPA, who is absolute. Let's give Michael K. CPA a round of applause for just being one of the most amazing subscribers a show could have. And Ron Navy. And Jocelyn Surprise, and Niner by Nature, and so many of you that have dropped like major super chats have just been super supportive. Ron Navy, Michael K. CPA, Mark Cleveland.
Let's go, mashed potatoes!
Yeah, buddy. Appreciate you guys so much. You guys absolutely rock. This is from Jacob. Jacob says traded Everett. By the way, Jacob is, I don't know if you guys know, but your boy Smitty is now on Rumble. I am now on Rumble, and I need your help. I need your help. Here's the link. I want you all to follow me on Rumble. Let me also say this. If you think, oh, Smitty's just doing yet another thing where he's just going to re-upload things to Rumble from YouTube so I don't need to go there, this is not true. I'm probably not gonna upload. I'll upload some stuff to Rumble, I suppose, that might cross over, but my Rumble account over there will be live streaming only. So if you think, oh, I can't ever get Smitty to answer my question, can you imagine? Yeah, Mark Cleveland. If you dropped something, I'm going to look for it in a minute. But standing ovation to Mark Cleveland.
To the moon.
To the moon. If you think I'm not going to have original content on Rumble, you're out of your mind, because I'm going to try and go live once a day on Rumble. I just pinned the link. Please give me a follow over there. I'm going to refresh the follower count and see how many subscribers we have currently. I just started it last night. I did my first live stream last night on Rumble. We talked about Derrick Henry. It's a Rumble exclusive live stream. It's not anything repeated. And let's just say it was fun. We had a good time. It's a small, intimate setting right now until this thing grows, but we're going to take over Rumble, and it's all additional. We're not taking anything away from YouTube, but I need you over there on Rumble, subscribed. Jacob says traded Everett for ETN earlier today. I really like that trade. I think that could be a very, very good trade, bro. I think that was a smart move on your part. Nice job doing that. ETN, okay, good job. This is from Jeremy. Jeremy says Waddle or Cook, full PPR. You got to take Cook, but would I want something in general to go along with like Waddle if I'm trading Cook? Would I want to get out of the Cook business? I probably could. I'd probably get out of the kitchen if I could and get Waddle and something. What would I want? I mean, I don't know if Breece Hall would be enough. Breece Hall and Waddle, that could be if you wanted to get out of the cooking game. But, I definitely think you need more depending on what side of that you're on. Sometimes I answer the question not really taking account of what side you were on because you could word it wrong. So just understand that's the way I do it. I know a lot of people come back and they're like, no, Schmitty, I know you already gave me a clear answer, but I'm on the other side. Does that change your mind? No. I clearly mapped out what side I was on. Who cares what side you're on? You know my stance. And that's how I'm going to approach it because people can say things backwards. My random leagues are boring, says Dan. They don't trade. Well, you got to start getting in some active leagues, broski. Trade Mixon and 2 random guys for Clyde Edwards-Helaire and A.J. Brown and Hall. I would probably rather have, if those are very, very 2 random undervalued players. I'd rather have Clyde, A.J. Brown, and Hall than just Mixon. I think that's a pretty good trade. I mean, there's value in Mixon. Let's not lie that, he's probably going to bounce back. At least we assume he will. Rockout says, would you trade McLaurin for Lamb? I probably would take Lamb and then try and flip him. What's going on, Payne? Appreciate you. I didn't know Chubb was that high. I already addressed that question earlier, or that comment. I still appreciate you, though. So what you're saying is Chubb does his own stunts. That was funny earlier. I'm trying to catch up on this live chat. I'm getting there. I'm going through the super chats. Trade my Chubb and for his Ekeler again. Definitely already mapped that out. I'd take Ekeler all day long if I'm getting a little piece. Now, straight up, I would say it's arguable. I think Chubb has more value, so straight up, you probably don't do that. I think you use it to your advantage that Chubb has a higher value. Chubb is the number 1 overall fantasy football running back. I don't think that continues. I think Ekeler could outscore him from week 3 on, not including weeks 1 and 2. You don't get to take that with you like someone in a pyramid that's taken all their jewels to the afterlife. You can't just take weeks 1 and 2 when you trade for Nick Chubb and acquire all the riches that Nick Chubb's accrued in weeks 1 and 2. If you're acquiring Chubb for Ekeler right now, or Ekeler for Chubb, it is fresh start, clean slate. And so I do think Ekeler can hang with him, but fair market value commands that you get a little more, so I think you should. Games says traded, let's see here. Traded Jacobs, J-Rob, and MT for Andrews and Hall. Bro.
You've just been Smitty approved.
I meant to hit Smitty approved. Absolutely love the Mark Andrews and Hall side. Way to go. Way to smash it. You got rid of J-Rob on the high. I didn't mean to make you take a lap. Jordan says he's good right now. Awesome. I don't know what that's referring to, but I'm glad that you're doing good. Just traded Lamar for Kupp in a super flex. I love both sides. It's super flex, so like Lamar's got big value. Javonte to the moon, absolutely. V San with the super chat. Trade away J-Rob. Yes. MT and Hurts for JT and Kyler. JT and Kyler in a second.
You've just been Smitty.
I mean, I love Lamar right now. I admit that I said that he could struggle early on. The added weight I don't like for him staying healthy. I still have all those concerns. Just because he blew up in weeks 1 and 2 doesn't mean I'm not worried about him getting hurt at a heavier weight. Although he could be dropping those LBs just by running around, and maybe he lost all the weight, and we don't know that. So those are all factors to consider. But I do feel like he runs so much, he's a huge injury risk. He got hurt last year. Yes, I know, Smitty. He got hurt on a throwing play. Look, his mileage is what makes him get injured no matter how he gets hurt. His body breaks down and he's vulnerable to getting injured, and that's how he got injured. But, look, he's balling out. Who am I to say that he's going to get hurt? I just think that, like, when you're talking about trading, let's see. Oh, this one wasn't with the Lamar. I was looking at another one with the Lamar. This one is Hurts. MT Hurts and J-Rob for JT and Kyler. Sorry, I was talking about Lamar on another trade. This one was with Hurts. I still love it. Absolutely love it. I love Hurts, but Kyler's arguable when you're getting JT over J-Rob and MT. So Smitty approved. As for my Lamar stance, like in general, that's how I feel. I feel like I still like Lamar right now, but I still do worry about him getting injured. Trade A-Rob for Bryce Hall. We'll trade him for Breece Hall, Mark Cleveland, because Breece Hall
To the moon.
is heading to the moon.
Get breached. Get breached. Get breached.
But I don't know about this Bryce Hall character, Mark. I'd make sure you got the right guy selected. Maybe he's trying to trade you Bryce Hall, who could be some practice squad guy that he added, and he's trying to trick you, Mark. So make sure you check that out. But I would take Breece Hall in a heartbeat, Mark. Appreciate you. Mark Cleveland in the house. Great drawing, Smitty. Appreciate you. My play that I drew up for Hackett's play where he handed it to the fullback, and they met at this point right here where Javonte was a lot quicker, and he had to wait for him right here by the big tree. And then he's like, I'll hand it to you. No, I won't. I'm still going to take. No, I won't. I get tackled. Unbelievable play call. When I say unbelievable, I mean awful. Trone, play at flex. Trone says, play at flex. PPR, Hollywood, Cooper, D. Harris, Melvin Gordon. Probably Hollywood, unless like D. Harris looks like a lock or something to play and play well, then I might waver a little bit. We might have to wait until kickoff on that or the night before, Saturday evening. Another game with loser Mitch at the helm. Ron Navy, I want you, he's got a bunch of beers out. I want you to make sure I don't know if when you get to this point on the beer count, if this is when you start dropping those bombs, I want you to start DMing me right here. That's where I find your DMs most entertaining. About 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 beers in. Then start DMing me. We'll start punching the play button and laughing around Casa de Smitty as I walk through listening to Ron Navy's DMs. Once Mitch Trubisky's played about a quarter and a half, Ron starts going ballistic. So appreciate your super chat, Ron. Ron is the man. Ron is let's play the Ron music because he deserves it. Ron Navy, everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Ron the Don.
Ron Navy, man, the myth, the legend. A legend here. He's just a straight up legend. I've received a trade request for Jamar Chase. In return, I would get Mixon. I like Jamar. I understand the thinking here, but I'm not going away from Jamar Chase after 2 weeks when he had 100 yards and a touchdown in one of them. You know what I'm saying? Braden with the super chat, regretting trading for Kamara. Tell me why I shouldn't. Well, I mean, I told you to avoid him on draft day. Okay? Trading for Kamara after draft day at a lower cost of entry that packages in the risk and, off the field risk and maybe the injury risk. Maybe the injury of him being ruled out happened after you made the trade and you did package in the off the field risk but didn't package in the injury. You have to tell me and remind me what you did. But Kamara's got a good potential bounce back opportunity here, bro. I'm not all that mad at owning Kamara right now at a lower price. Petty says getting one of them, Lamb and J-Rob for Cooper Kupp. Gibson or Hunt. I would probably lean toward Gibson because Hunt's in a sharing situation, but Gibson's such a disappointment half the time. He's scoring, though, and he's playing decent. I'd probably go Gibson. Thank you, Petty. Appreciate you very much and all your support over the last few months and year. Brian says trade Michael Thomas for Breece Hall. That's a wash. Like, you got to go with your gut on that one. If you need a wide receiver, it makes sense to make the trade. If you need a running back, it makes sense to make the trade on either side of this trade. I personally would rather have Breece Hall, but that's because I'm waiting for Breece Hall season.
Get breached.
But trust your gut and don't blame me if Breece Hall takes till week 6 to get out there. That's the funny thing about Breece Hall. The part that really kind of irks me is, like, we all knew what was going on. It was like, hey, Smitty, I'm going to go ahead. Smitty, I'm going to go ahead and draft Breece Hall. You say he's going to be good. I'm going to trust you. We don't think he's going to get the targets and volume in week 1 and 2, right? But like what? Like week 3, week 4, week 5? I mean, don't be shocked if it's week 5, Bob. Don't be shocked. Okay, week 5, yeah. Okay. Week 2. I can't believe Breece Hall's not the starter. I'm getting rid of him. That is the reaction that all of you are having. It's insane. We knew what time it was when we had this guy set up to be potentially a late bloomer, and everybody's freaking out already. People were told to have patience, and they're not having patience. So anyway, Gibby and Cooks for Pierce and Drake London. Give me Drake London and Pierce, and I run away. And I don't look back because they might be saying, wait, I didn't mean to do it. Just keep going. Drake London's looking really good. I like Drake London a lot right now. His metrics are off the hook for first 2 weeks. It is early. But him over B. Cooks right now, probably London. I've gone back and forth on that, but it's time to say, look, London looks good enough that you can put him in. Pierce over Gibby. I think Pierce to the moon. So give me the moon. London, give me that London and Pierce side. Okay? That's what I'm talking about. Let's go. Mark Cleveland with another. Bill want to trade. Let's see. Hold on. Clicked the wrong one. Sorry, Scott. I know you got excited because you thought I was going to read your super chat. Let me look at it real quick. My team's Herbert. Who should I trade for at running back? It's a long question, Scott. Herbert, Jimmy G, Diggs. Trade. Keep Pitts. Keep Diggs. Keep Adams. Herbert. I mean, I maybe trade Bateman for like a Breece Hall, bro. That's what I would do. Thank you for the question, Scott. I try and get to as many chat questions as I can that are not super chats. I don't want people to feel like I only answer super chats, but I have to get to the super chats, if you know what I mean. So I'm doing my best. Bill, want to trade me Hall for A-Rob? Take Breece Hall. Take Breece Hall, the Breece Hall side. Whatever side you're on, it's Breece Hall. Breece Hall's the answer, though. Mark Cleveland, appreciate you and your super chat. Good buddy. Michael says trade Kamara and A-Rob for Jefferson. I would take Jefferson if you like winning, Michael. I like Kamara at a buy low in a buy low sense, but that is a steal. A-Rob is not some kind of kicker that makes this thing, doable on the Kamara side. You go get JJ. You go get him now. Okay, this one's from Josh. Hunt, I'm feeling it, or Garrett Wilson, Bateman, full PPR flex. I'm going to go with Bateman right now. Just for right now. This could change. It could change based on the wind as well. Currently, there's no wind in the studio, so that's the way I'm rolling. Definitely could change in a few. Let's see here. Man, I'm so far behind on the chat. I'm going as fast as I can. He's trying to piss you off, Goat. Says forklift guy. I don't know if he's talking about Swaggy. Swaggy's fine. I just, I would like him to be more positive. He usually is very positive at the end of the show, and he's like, great show, Smitty to the moon. Love my boy Smitty. But then the whole show, it's like he's waiting like this. And then, good things are said. And then he waits, just waits. And then I say something he doesn't like, hits the button. No! That's how I picture Swaggy. Just sitting there waiting for me. I don't understand. Antonio from New York. You rock, Smitty. Let's win the chip. Appreciate you, Tony. You are the man, the myth, the legend. New York is proud to call you, I don't know, a boss. Struggling at wide receiver, Mahomes, Kirk for Murray and A.J. Brown. Mahomes and Kirk for Murray and A.J. Brown. You know what? No, I like what Murray did. Game is kicked off, by the way. Nick Chubb about to get his first carry, I assume. Kirk is playing good enough to where you don't need... I'd rather have Mahomes and Kirk over Murray and A.J. Brown. And A.J. Brown's an injury risk, so all that kind of plays in. I love buying A.J. Brown, but at the right price. Nick Chubb getting a carry up the gut, getting about, 3 yards or so, looking spry. He's ready for about an 18-carry game. Again, my only concern with Chubb is that he gets so much work up the gut. He's got the knee issues and the long history of knee injuries. That's why he's on the sell list right here. I just worry about him getting banged up. I take the Mahomes side. It's a very, very, very good question. Joe with a super chat. Mike Williams for Miles Sanders, Kirk in a standard. I'd rather have Mike Williams. I'm not a big Miles Sanders guy at all. I appreciate your super chat, Joe. Joey boy. James with a drop on a super. Smitty, you're the GOAT. Pick one Pierce or Chubb. Chubb almost had it. That was a nice little leap. He's playing great. The only concern is injury. That's the only red flag. That's why you only sell high. Look at this leap he had. That's a highlight. Got his knee taken out, though. You got to watch that, Chubb. Don't put your knees in front of harm's way, bro. Pick one Pierce or J.W. Jr., Jeff Wilson Jr., right? Jeff Wilson Jr. or Pierce. Give me Pierce all day long. Oh, Brissett throwing the biscuit away. Pierce all day long, broski. Pierce all day long. We got 284 in here, only 188 thumbs up. Can we punch that number? Can we get those numbers pumped up? Rookie numbers, I say. Deep breath. What time is it? 5:18 my time. Deep breath, buddy. Swaggy got too much airtime. Look, Hung, I don't care about giving people airtime, and that's entertainment, man. I know I appreciate you, Hung, but I think people enjoy a little bit of the drama once in a while, so I don't think we're wasting any time at all. We've been live for an hour and 14 minutes. We need some content, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, Swaggy, he sometimes can get on my nerves. I'm not gonna lie, Swaggy knows that. But Swaggy, I'm sure Swaggy gets on a lot of people's nerves throughout his day. Swaggy, tell me if I'm wrong. Are you kind of an individual? I'm that way too. I think get under people's nerves because I'm a little animated sometimes. I'm more quiet in my regular life, off air, I'd say, but I definitely understand that about myself, that I make statements. I'm pretty aggressive. I suppose people look at a lot of confidence sometimes as like arrogance. So like I understand, but swaggy, you've got to encounter that. I think quite a bit throughout your day, right? Where like Swaggy, here's Swaggy again. Swaggy in the meeting, at the table talking about the TPS reports, and somebody says, "Hey, I just finished all night long mocking up these TPS reports. I spent 7 straight hours. I got 1 hour of sleep. I'm living on coffee. How does everybody like the new look of the TPS reports?" And Swaggy comes in and says, "Could you have used a different font?" I mean, that's just Swaggy. It's just this critical analysis, unneeded critical thinking sometimes, Swaggy. I just traded away Pierce for Gibby. I like Pierce side. I like the Pierce side more. If Gibby comes out and claims the throne, do you think B-Rob is still going to throw a wrench in it? Absolutely, B-Rob is going to throw a wrench in it. I take that Pierce side all day long. Here comes Mitch Trubisky. Poor Ron. Ron's probably on his 8th beer right now, just getting ready for Mitch. I've a trade right now for Jamar. I get Henry. No, Isaac. No. I'm not disapproving you, I'm disapproving the trade.
You've just been Smitty disapproved.
Not you, the trade's been disapproved. Henry is I'm sure you asked that before I went on a Henry rant. But no, you're trading Henry away for a guy like Jamar Chase all day long. That's the goal. See, Swaggy, there are people that would actually, and I'm not saying he's a bad owner for wanting to do that. He believes in Henry, and that's okay. But there are people that will trade you Jamar Chase for Henry. Kenny Walker and A-Rob for DK. I think you could almost get away with A-Rob alone for DK. I don't know that I want to throw in Kenny Walker. I'm not saying I don't like this, but I feel like, you're buying DK high, and you shouldn't need to, You don't need to buy Derrick Henry high, or Walker high. Or DK. I can't even think. DK high. I tweeted King Henry. I know you're joking, Ron. I think it was funny. Appreciate you, Ron Navy, with the super chat. Good buddy, good pal. Ryan, I'm 100% playing Sutton at 1 wide receiver spot. Out of Cooper, DJ Moore, Robinson the third. Which wide receiver should be a 3? I would say probably Allen Robinson is safest. DJ Moore's got a bit more upside, but more risk, and you kind of got to pick your poison with that. If you need safety, go A-Rob. If you want risk, but you're gonna have a little bit of that risk of getting mad, then you could go the DJ Moore side. I don't play in a big boy league, says Payne. Payne likes to go in and clean up with the cellar dwellers. That way, that's how Payne pays his rent. That's how he gets the super chat wads, is going in and playing in grandma leagues. There's nothing wrong with that. Zero Gaming says, Team Zero says, just traded Barkley and Cooks for Jonathan Taylor and Metcalf. I like that. I like that a lot. That's a really, really good trade. I think you win on both sides of that. Nice work. That's how you trade. But those trades don't happen. You can't trade. You can't trade Barkley and get JT and get Metcalf thrown in. Some of you don't like Metcalf, though, but I like Metcalf, buying low at least. ETN for Olave, got Pierce, Hall, Dillon. I could go on either side of this. This is where people word it in a way you don't know which side they're on. ETN for Olave. I believe he's saying he's getting Olave because he's already got Pierce, Hall, and Dillon, mapping out that the running backs will be fine if I trade away ETN for Olave. But sometimes you don't know, so that's why I always preface that I don't even answer it for you. I answer it player for player. I just talk about each side. So we avoid chaos. Trubisky out there scrambling, Ron Navy, getting a pass to Deontay, moving the chains. Okay, here we go. Najee Harris getting the football. Cleveland's looking to stop Najee in his tracks, but we'll see if Najee has a bounce-back game, gets any kind of trade value for you, or plummets in value depending on how he looks tonight. I really worry about that foot, man. I just worry about that foot getting worse. How could it not get worse? But it's tough to say. Stranger things have happened. ETN for Olave. I lean on the ETN side, but if you need a wide receiver, this isn't a horrible move. They're kind of similar value, so I don't think it's a bad trade on either side. I'd probably lean ETN, but if I needed a wide receiver, it makes sense. He's good. He gets a lot of deep. He's got some really good deep threat, deep target metrics, so I really like what I'm seeing so far. Damian Harris, Damian Pierce, Cooper, Hunt. Give me Pierce all day long. I'm just a big Pierce fan. I'm a big Dameon Pierce fan. Tip says, are you selling Dalvin Cook? I think you probably saw my spiel on did I not put Cook on here? I talked about him, but I didn't put Cook on here. That's a great one. Did I not put Cook on here? I could have swore I put Cook on here. I think I just talked about him. So let's put Cook on here. And he's most certainly a guy that you could sell or buy. So let's go ahead and put him on both sides. Airing it out. That's got to be a flag. Maybe they're both pushing off. That looked like PI to me. But I quickly looked over. So Dalvin Cook is on both sides. He's here on the sell list. He's here on the buy. He's only on the buy in cases where you could sell another risky player. You know what I mean? And he's on the sell list for anyone like Ekeler. I'd rather have Kamara than Cook right now. But you could go crafty across position, get a smaller running back name, but a bigger wide receiver, make the wide receiver the focal point. You could get a Debo and a Breece Hall. You could get a Debo and a Dameon Pierce for Dalvin Cook. Those are all things that I would consider. You could get like a Higgins and then try and get like a medium-sized running back, but there aren't a lot of them in that, like, not running back one, but not like, fourth round material. There's like A.J. Dillon. Like A.J. Dillon and Higgins for Cook is probably almost not enough, but that's the lowest I'd even consider like molding over. I think I'd say no to that because I want more, but like that's just kind of giving you a barometer of where I'm at. But good question, Tip. I appreciate your super chat. This one's from Cameron. Cameron says DK or Amari Cooper at flex. I'm probably going to say DK. I'm not swaying from DK. I'm just not. I understand he's playing bad, and Amari Cooper scored and everybody's excited about him, but I just not. Petty says Hunt, Lamb, and Dotson for Kupp. I would take Kupp and run for the hills. Kupp side and run for the hills. So I think you're be trading Kupp away, and you should not do that. Kupp by 100,000 miles. Accepted CMC, McLaurin for Evans and Everett and Clyde. Evans is out, so that's a big hit. I take CMC and McLaurin over that side of the trade, even if Evans wasn't out. So good trade, Smitty.
You've just been Smitty.
Good job, buddy boy. Cole says, cut Mooney for Olave. I don't mind you grabbing Olave, but I don't want you cutting Mooney. Mooney's getting cut in way too many leagues. Mooney's still a good receiver. I don't care what's happened in 2 weeks. He's a good receiver. He's proven. It's the offense. Granted, the offense needs to get fixed for Mooney to do anything, but it's not Mooney's fault. Trade CD and Jefferson for Amon-Ra, Aaron Jones, and Kareem Hunt, Keenan Allen. So Aaron Jones, Amon-Ra, Keenan Allen for Jefferson and CD. Jefferson and CD side. I love Aaron Jones and Amon-Ra, but I think that CD's good enough that Jefferson and CD are that's a tough one, though. It also depends on your depth, but my running back 2 is ETN, and Aaron Jones would help a lot. Hate trading JJ, though. Yeah, but what does your wide receiver room look like? Like, it's, you're plugging one hole on the sinking ship, no offense if you feel that way about your team, and then you're creating another hole. You know what I mean? Like, who cares if you plug one hole and create another hole? Keep the best players involved or over, sell higher. I love Amon-Ra. I love Aaron Jones. It is a nice duo, but CeeDee Lamb is still a very good wide receiver that I would trade Lamb and somebody for like Aaron Jones, you know what I mean, versus getting rid of JJ. I just think that JJ, when you trade JJ, it's got to be a offer you can't refuse. Only because JJ didn't have a good week 2 are you even considering this. Coming out of week 1, everyone would have laughed at that trade idea. You know what I mean? Now they're like, JJ's human. So now I'm maybe more willing to trade him. Curtis Samuel or Hunt. I think obviously the game already kicked off, but in general, moving forward, I would say I probably lean even. It just depends on matchup, I suppose. So sorry that this didn't get a handle before kickoff. I apologize for that. Would you trade, and I appreciate your super chat, would you trade Keenan Allen for Jalen Hurts? Absolutely take Jalen Hurts. Keenan Allen's expendable. Speaking of Kareem Hunt catching footballs, he's expendable. Keenan Allen you could pick up like Garrett Wilson and feel actually okay, and not have Keenan Allen in there. You can't get a Jalen Hurts very often. Smitty, would you trade Judy and Henderson Would I trade Judy and Henderson for Diggs and Javonte Williams? Judy and Henderson for, what do I look like? Kels, what do I look like? I would take Diggs alone for Judy and Henderson. I would take Javonte alone for Diggs and Henderson. The veto police will be after you if you try and pull this off. Is this an offer you concocted and you're going to send out? Because if so, you're going to end a friendship over this ridiculous offer. I'm going to get somebody that's going to come to me and say, hey, Smitty, can you give me the River Boys?
You are offer sex. You are trade offer sex.
Now, if you are getting sent that offer, you could send that clip to him, which aired about 1 hour and 25 minutes into the show, and say your offer sucks for you. And then
You've just been Smitty approved.
I mean, that offer sucks for him if he sent that to you. That's crazy. That's crazy. And Swaggy says that crazy deals can't happen. I mean, come on. Kels, why are you asking that question multiple times? You should know the answer to that. You should really know the answer to that. A lot of Amazon complaints on here with the game. I'm not having any issues with Amazon streaming this game. I don't know. I didn't last week either. I need either Hunt tonight or Elliott on Monday night. I'm sorry about the delay on this, Josh. Josh, if you ask me another question and put a bunch of question mark emojis next to it, I will gladly, reservice this call because I feel like I should have been there for you. I would have said probably Hunt, and I don't know how that's gonna look. I just don't know if I trust Elliott right now. Flag on the play, potentially hitting that punter. Maybe not. Maybe they got contact. Elliott might be safer because you got a tough Steeler defense, and then they're banged up though. But and you got a sharing situation in both cases. But I think Pollard is just Pollard's about to take over. I so hope Pollard proves to be a miracle moon man after all. Just hope he absolutely explodes. But please put a bunch of red question mark emojis and re-ask your question, McAllister, and I will help you out. I'm sorry I didn't get to that one in time. Dynasty League, Waddle or Javonte. In a trade, I take Javonte. I know Waddle's blowing up and looking good, but let's not get too carried away. Torres, I mean, Javonte did have 11 receptions in week number 1. He's doing good. We're starting Akers now over Hendo. Who said that? You say that like we're all part of the same conversation or we're all in the same club, broski. We starting Akers now? No, Rivera. We're not. I'm not. Hendo's the guy. Hendo's the answer. Neither's the answer, honestly, right now. Neither of them, because they're taken from each other. But, could we get to a point where Akers touches Henderson on the regular? Not just like one game or in one situation or whatever. Najee ripping off a pretty decent run. Looking good. Attaboy, Najee. Flex Pollard. I put Pollard in there, Rivera. I just saw that you had Pollard. I didn't read the full question yet in Smitty fashion. I would go Pollard. Pollard over both of those guys. Pollard looked great, bro. Pollard looked amazing. Kyle says AJ, Dillon, C. Patterson, Kittle too much for Cook. AJ Dillon, C. Patterson, and Kittle too much for Cook and Rashad White. Yeah, I don't know. Not really. As much as I sell Cook, high. I feel like that's a lot of talent. I like Dillon a lot, but he's still in a sharing situation where you don't really know what you're getting with Dillon. You hope you know what you're getting. Patterson, does he stay healthy all year? He broke down last year at some point. Kittle's always hurt. I mean, Dalvin Cook, I'd try and take out like one of Patterson or Kittle, and I'd definitely do it, but I probably would do that. It's not like, it doesn't feel good. It feels like one of those trades where it's like, why are we doing this? But I suppose I would do it. Armando, Aaron Jones, Bateman for Dillon and Devontae Adams. Aaron Jones, Bateman for Dillon. Give me Dillon and Adams. Yeah, give me Dillon and Adams. I like Bateman and I like Aaron Jones, but Adams is the best player in the deal. Dillon could potentially compete to be. He could be the second. He's not the second best player right now, but he could be. He could score 12 touchdowns. He could score 12 touchdowns from week 3 on. Not just on the, not just like, could be week 3 on. Full point per reception flex, start A.J. Dillon, Tyler Lockett, Judy, or Dotson. I'm going to rank these guys. His foot's not looking like it's hampering him, Harris, which is a good sign. Doesn't mean it won't, but it doesn't look like it's holding him back. It definitely doesn't look super efficient. The offensive line is looking a little better tonight than it has in the past, to be honest, but Harris is looking okay. I think, if anything, I'm hoping he does have a good game so he ups his value and you can get rid of him at a price that you feel good about no matter what happens with Harris. That's the whole point. You don't trade Harris if you're not walking away from your trade saying, I love this trade no matter what. You made a bad trade. You gotta say, hey, if Harris works out, looks fantastic, guess what? I still love this side of my trade. Now it's even. Worst case, it's even. Flex start. I'm gonna rank him in order of Dillon, and then Judy's. If Judy was healthy and but Dotson would be number 2. I think Lockett's entertaining, decent. Andrews, Monty, Mike Williams for Pitts, Mixon, and Gabe Davis. Andrews, Monty, Mike Williams for Pitts, Mixon, Gabe Davis. Pretty even. Pitts and Andrews. I mean, obviously you'd rather have Andrews, but I think Pitts could actually be quietly, near that value go forward. But Andrews is definitely a guy you rank in draft 4 ahead. I'm not an idiot. Monty, Mike Williams for Mixon, Gabe Davis. Give me Gabe Davis and Mixon side quite a bit. That 2-for-2 comparison. So the question, does Andrews make it worth going back in the direction of getting the lesser? I'd probably take Pitts, Mixon, and Davis. That's me. I know not everybody's going to agree on that. Gabe Mixon for him, says Braden. Gabe Mixon for him. I don't know what this is referring to. It's so many questions ago. Sammy, appreciate you giving Brady plus Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Sammy, you still here? Giving Brady plus Clyde Edwards-Helaire plus Andrews for Chubb and Waller. I know the game's already going on, but I'm sure you can still accept it. Giving Brady, CEH, and Mark Andrews for Chubb and Waller. Give me Chubb and Waller by a mile. Give me Chubb and Waller by...
You've just been Smitty approved.
Yeah, because you're giving Brady, Clyde, and Andrews. Because Waller's close enough to Andrews, you're getting Chubb for that by a mile. Giving Mike Williams and Tua for Deebo Samuel. Give me Deebo Samuel.
You've just been
Very good questions. Appreciate you. What's up, big dog? Appreciate you being in the building. Joe Lawrence, can you rewind the video and see? Joe Lawrence, you can rewind the video and see. I don't know what that's in reference to. Braden, I keep saying this, and I have no idea what it refers to. You act like my memory is that good that I'm going to remember what you even asked. I don't. Everything's got to be in one question, or I won't. There's no way I can retain it. No human being can understand what's going on, 40 questions, 50 questions, 100 questions later. I'm sorry. I wish I was Superman, but I'm not. I'm merely a man. Traded Everett. I'm merely a man in a collared shirt. Traded Everett for Kyle Pitts. I also have Kittle. How do I handle this? I mean, you trade Kittle. You hope Kittle goes out and has a big game. You don't play matchups. You play Kyle Pitts. Unless, Kittle proves himself to be a monster on Sunday. But that was an amazing trade. And people say, like when I said that you could get something more in addition to in a Najee trade, and everyone said, Swaggy, and a couple of people said you can't get those trades done. Look it. He's getting Everett. He's giving up Everett to get Kyle Pitts. Nick Chubb getting stuffed after a little bit of a gain here. Play matchups or start? No, don't play matchups. Pocket Santa, appreciate your super chat, by the way. Gave up Mixon for Kamara. I keep seeing this, Braden. I don't know what's going on. Braden's really brute force attacking that additional information that I don't know what it means. Pitts and Davis acquired for Higbee and Mike Williams. Give me Pitts and Gabe Davis. Absolutely Smitty approved.
You've just been Smitty.
Look at this guy. Respect he's paying the court here. I have to answer this question. Your Honor, can I play Garrett Wilson while Flacco is still under center? I mean, he loves him. Of course you can. Joe Flacco and Garrett Wilson are best buddies. Of course, the answer is yes. Your Honor says yes. I'm looking to plug him in over Higgs. Not Higgins. You got to put Higgins in, bro. Feel it's going to be Mixon Chase week. You can't go off that feel. You don't know. Put in Higgins. You should have another option that you can roll with. Like Higgins should be your like wide receiver 2. Like have this conversation about your wide receiver 3. Don't be dragging Higgins into this. Higgins is a must start. Kenny, Walker, and A-Rob for DK. I'd probably rather have Walker and A-Rob because Walker's got so much potential. Would you trade Judy and Henderson for this again? This again. Oh, God. Oh, man. Terry, $2 super chat. Appreciate you. Best add Algier, Logan Thomas, Devernay, Shepard, or Mason. I grab Mason on the spec alone, bro. On the spec alone. You know what I'm saying? Now Chubb for the big game. Just missed a sack. Says Ron Navy. Getting down to the Smitty. Speak on whatever you want. It's your show, bro. Absolutely, bro. Every day, all day. Should I go for Ekeler throwing Amon-Ra St. Brown? Should I go Ekeler throwing Amon-Ra St. Brown? I would take Ekeler over Amon-Ra. Oh, Chubb getting a big one. Chubb getting a big one. Woo! That's going to up his value. Man, that was a nice run. That was a nice run. Ekeler throwing for, I'd take Ekeler over Amon-Ra, but I love Amon-Ra. Could we in a week from now be talking about how Amon-Ra is more valuable than Ekeler? I mean, sure. He could keep going up in value. Chubb is just a good runner between the tackles. He's such a tough runner to take down. That was a nice run. Here is the team. Jacob says, who should I go get? Kyler, JJ, MT, Javonte, Chubb, McLaurin, A-Rob, Ramondre, Rashad White, Judy, Goddard, Olave. Who should I go get? Kyler, JJ, MT. So JJ, MT. This is what's frustrating if you own Chubb is when Hunt comes in near the goal line. It's like Chubb does all the work. That's the frustrating part about running back by committees. JJ, MT, Javonte, Chubb. I don't know that you need to make any moves. I mean, like I said earlier, if you could sell Chubb, especially off another big game, if you could sell Chubb for an offer you cannot refuse, you know what I'm saying? Like you get a Ekeler and touchdown. Mari Cooper coming back to life a little bit. You know, it'll be a dilemma next week whether he goes in over some guys that like. I see questions like Higgins and Cooper, and I can't put Cooper in over Higgins or anything like that. But I mean, look, Cooper's catching touchdowns. You know, he's always been a good receiver. He's kind of one of those guys that just he'll do well and then he vanishes when you count on him. Once you buy into Cooper, he fails you. You know, like he does good while you're debating it, and then he fails you later. Look to trade Chubb on the high offer you can't refuse, and someone's gonna come in here and say he just. Someone's going to come in here and drop the megaphone. Someone's going to come in here and say, Smitty, did he just say trade Nick Chubb? Don't listen to this guy. That's a casual, Caleb. They don't understand the context of what I'm saying. You don't need to make a trade. You actually have a really good team that can win now. You don't need to move. Making a Nick Chubb trade, forcing a Nick Chubb trade in this scenario is not needed. But would I trade him high if the right offer came along? Yes. Do you have an opportunity to improve somewhere, like at your A-Rob spot or McLaurin spot? Sure. So if you can go in and get someone's going to give you an Ekeler and give you who do you have at tight end? You have Goddard. He's fine. Give you some kind of Debo Samuel for your McLaurin upgrade. Like, do I take Ekeler and Debo for McLaurin and Chubb? Yeah, I probably do. So like, that's the only time you're going to do anything, you know, and make that kind of move. Matt. With a super chat, Matt's question is as follows: wide receivers are Lamb, Higgins. I like that's good. Sutton, it's decent. Running backs: JT, Javonte, Dillon, very good running backs. Who do I package in a trade? Top five wide receiver. Feel like I need an elite production wide receiver. I would probably throw Sutton and Dillon together to get yourself a big name wide receiver like Adams or Chase. Chase seems very attainable for a Dillon and Sutton right now. You could throw Kirk in with a potential Dillon and do that. Keep Javonte and JT. Don't mess with that. Lamb, maybe I trade Lamb. I keep Higgins. Lamb and Dillon. It's a lot, though. Lamb and Dillon. What about using Dillon in the other ways that I described? And then with this one, Garrett Wilson and Lamb together to a team that maybe only has one good wide receiver. Maybe Lamb and Garrett Wilson can get you a Debo. Maybe it gets you an A.J. Brown, and you're okay with that slight bump into an A.J. Brown type player. I also maybe attack, who's your tight end? I attack Pitts if you don't have a good tight end. I don't see a tight end option on here, but I'd take Lamb and turn him into Kyle Pitts, and I know it makes you thinner at wide receiver. It's not what you wanted, but then maybe you take Dillon and you trade for an A.J. Brown. Dillon could get you A.J. Brown. I don't know, just thoughts. I mean, you also have a very decent team. I don't know that you have to force anything right now. You could let it happen naturally. There's a limp biscuit throw. Ron Navy's getting ready to hot take on his Pittsburgh Steelers offensive flow. Got Dillon for Henderson. Also in the trade, that's phenomenal. Dillon for Henderson. I'd take Dillon over Henderson in a heartbeat. Should I go get Ekeler, throwing in Amon-Ra? Already said yes to that. Trade Brees or J-Rob for London or Kirk. Trade Brees or I love how this is an option. Trade Brees or J-Rob. Trade J-Rob. Trade J-Rob. He's averaging 3.8 yards per carry. Don't trade Brees if you don't need to. Trade J-Rob for London. Yes. Or trade J-Rob for Kirk if you need a wide receiver. Yes. Trade Brees for London. Probably not. I don't trade Brees for either one. I like Brees more, but I would trade J-Rob for either wide receiver, preferably London. Of course, I'd rather have London if you're giving me the choice. Man, I'm kind of hungry for wings. I don't know why Harris is out of the game. Najee Harris isn't in the game. They might just be giving him rest, but just something to note. They got Warren in there right now. I want a big running back. I have extra wide receivers. Who can I go get? Trading Lamb, Mike Williams, Deontay, Drake London. Drake London's a hot commodity right now. I don't really have your running backs to pair, so it's hard to do 2-for-1, but I would say you could trade Lamb for Dillon. You could trade Lamb, or you could trade Deontay for Dameon Pierce. You could trade Deontay for Breece Hall. Those are all. I'm going after Breece. I'm going after A.J. Dillon. Those are the middle tier running backs. There's nobody really up top like Kamara or CMC or Ekeler that you're going to get. I mean, trading Mike Williams or Lamb. Maybe you could trade one of them with Deontay and try that, but I doubt you're going to get it. So that's kind of the way I'm thinking here. Warren's still in there getting carries. I don't know what's going on there. TM42, Najee is a Terminator. I know you're rooting for him, and so am I, bro, to be honest. I am rooting for him. I'm just uneasy about Najee right now. Let's see here. Matthew with a super chat. Matthew, I appreciate you. I don't see your question, though. Matthew. I appreciate you super chatting. I'll look for it, but if it's not right next to it, it's hard for me to find it. Smitty, please send Tomlin to your anus, please.
And off he goes to the planet known as Uranus.
We did it. We sent him there. Thank you, Ron, for the super chat. Matthew says, start 2 between London, Waddle, and Michael Thomas. Give me Waddle and MT. But it wouldn't be crazy to put London in. Wow, what a catch. Who caught that? Warren, down to the 5. You wonder if Najee's coming in or if they're keeping Warren in. I don't know if Najee's injured or they're just giving him a break, but it's a long break. Oh, here comes Najee, I think. This will be good for Najee's value if he can get a touchdown. This will be really good for Najee's value. London, Waddle, you wouldn't be crazy to put London in over Michael Thomas, but I think it's Waddle and MT, unless MT's banged up or something, going into the game. Just got offered Dillon for Cooper. I'd take Dillon. I think he probably saw the touchdown. I'd take Dillon. I don't care if he scored. I'd take Dillon. That was an unreal catch. Unreal. I missed who caught it. Who caught it? Somebody tell me. Smitty, I got to offer Mixon and Dalvin for my Aaron Jones and D. Adams. I take Aaron Jones and D. Adams, bro. Start Sanders over Zeke and Bateman over Ayuk. I start Bateman over Ayuk, and I probably start Sanders over Zeke, although I don't love that. We're going to go to speed round before we get out of here, so get your questions going. I want them fast and short. I'm not answering any questions that are long. If it's not like one line, I'm going to skip it, and you're going to be upset and go, why didn't Smitty answer my questions?
It is time for the speed question and answer segment.
Alrighty, here we go. Straight 4 minutes of straight madness. It was Pickens. Awesome catch by Pickens. That was a great catch. Smitty, St. Brown, and Lamar for Derrick Henry and Brady. Give me St. Brown and Lamar. Yeah. Come on, Najee, get that TD. Pickens was the answer. Do you trade Kirk and Monty for what? Do I trade Kirk for Monty? Trade for Kirk and Monty. Do I trade for Kirk and Monty? I don't know what the question's for, though. Like, do I trade Kirk for Monty or just trade for both of them? I don't know. You need to know the context. J-Rob and Godwin for Kamara. Good trade. Yeah. This is what I'm talking about, Swaggy. He's got Kamara for J-Rob and Godwin. Unbelievable. JJ and Fournette for Chase and Swift. Give me Chase and Swift by quite a bit. CEH, buy, sell, hold. I would buy and hold. I'd only sell if someone would overpay, and I don't think they will. Rashad White or Jordan Mason. Probably both of them. Both of them. I can't pick on that. I love both of them. I'm holding both of them if I can. Let's see here. Start DK or Lamb. You got to start Lamb, I think, for right now. Trade Gibson for Garrett Brees. Gibson for Garrett. I'd take Garrett and Brees Hall. Stevenson, DK, or Garrett Wilson, pick two. Give me DK and Garrett Wilson for right now until we know more about Stevenson's situation. Would I trade a tight? Would I trade any of these tight ends? Of course. I mean, you got all three. Trade four, I think you mean. Trade four or trade? I don't know. I don't know if you've got all of them. You got to trade some of them. Yeah, if I wanted to rank them, I'd say Pitts, Waller, Knox. Vamp says keep Elijah Moore or Josh Palmer. I'd probably keep Elijah Moore. That's a tough one, but Elijah Moore. Pollard or Dillon this week? Probably Dillon, but I do love Pollard. I think he makes that a tough decision for you. Kelsey or for Hurts, it depends on your situation. In general, I'm drafting Kelsey way higher than I'm drafting Hurts, so if that makes sense. I mean, context matters, but Godwin too much to give away for Dameon Pierce? No. I don't even want Godwin. DK or Lamb? Give me Lamb. Traded Lamb for Najee. I like that. That's a buy low scenario that I like. You go get Najee for Lamb. Najee's about to score a touchdown right here. Curtis Samuel for Kyle Pitts. This is what I'm talking about. Kyle Pitts by a mile. By a mile. Doesn't mean I hate. Touchdown Najee. Touchdown Najee. There you go. There's some value bumpage right there. There's some value bumpage right there. Drop ETN for Pierce. You don't drop ETN, but you got to pick up Pierce. Pickens needs a spot off waivers, right? I don't even know what that means, but you pick him up off waivers? Sure. MT and CEH for who? MT and CEH for who? Debo. Guys in that like late second round territory. Walker or Henderson? Give me Walker long term. Ekeler and Keenan Allen for Jefferson and Damian Harris. I'd probably rather have the Jefferson side. Give me the best player. ETN or Pierce? Give me Pierce. Drop Josh. Already got to that one. Najee TD. Let's go. AC says ETN or Pierce. Give me Pierce, but I don't drop ETN. Trade J-Rob for Debo. Come on, bro. Shannon, come on. You can't ask that question. The timer's over anyway. You can't ask that question. Debo said Godwin for Pierce. Give me Pierce. This question right here. Come on, Shannon. Trade J-Rob for Debo. Why would Debo's getting drafted if you draft today? What a catch by Pickens. If you draft today, Debo's going in the top 14, top 15 overall. Okay, what a catch. But J-Rob's, you're not drafting J-Rob anywhere near that. Flag, but Najee TD. Great touchdown. That was a good run by Najee. Very tough run. That's good. I'm feeling a little bit optimistic on that. That was a face mask probably on the defense, right? That was a good little run. Good little tough run by Najee. I'm proud of him. Still worried, but still proud. Zeke and Dotson for Connor and Hall. Give me Connor and Hall, and then I trade Connor. I don't want Connor. Drop Ayuk for Kenneth Walker. Kenneth Walker should not be on waivers. That is ridiculous. Grab him right now. DK or Curtis or Julio. Give me DK. Hit those thumbs up for your boy Smitty. Thank you, Derrick. Appreciate you all. Guys, I'm live Monday through Friday. Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern, every single Monday through Friday. I'm also live whenever news breaks. And you can find all my content at all of these locations. And can we just please do your boy Smitty a favor right now and head on over to Rumble. Here is the link. It's pinned right now in the chat. Let me open it up here real quickly. And let me copy this link and paste it in one more time. But can we please head on over to Rumble? You literally, all you got to do right here. There we go. Replace pin chat. I'm going to replace it again with the new. But that link right there I just dropped. Go subscribe to my Rumble channel. I'm going to add it on here in a minute. I'm going to go live on Rumble. I'm going to try to go live on Rumble once a day. In fact, you know what? Let's go live on Rumble right now. Let's go live on Rumble right now. The link, I just dropped the link. I pinned it in the live chat. I'm going to put it in the description if you're watching the replay. I'm going to go live on Rumble right now. So hang tight. Let's create a live stream, okay? And we're going to go live on Rumble right now and just do a quick little Q&A. And it's going to be so easy for you to get your question answered because I don't know if all of you are going to come over or not. It seems like a lot of people don't when you try and do something like this. So you know what? Let's go over there. Let's do a live stream. Let me create the live stream. Set up the new live stream. Placeholder video. Let me drop that in real quick. Hold on one second. Bear with me. Got to drop that in here. We're going to do a live Thursday night football reactions. Browns versus Steelers. Okay. I'm going to do that. Going to go in here. Steelers, Browns, fantasy football. All right, here we go. Right now. Okay. Guys, I'm going over to Rumble right now. The link is in the description. I will pin it one more time right here. Going over to Rumble right now to go live. I'm going to try and go live once a day on Rumble, even if it's only for like 20 minutes. Here's the link. Please go over there right this very second. There's 179 of you still in here. 224 thumbs up. We're going to Rumble right now. I'm going to go live in like 1 minute to 2 minutes. I'll be live on Rumble. See you over there. Ask me a question there. Thank you all for the super chats. Appreciate every single one of you. If I miss a super chat, go over on Rumble. You missed that awesome catch by Pick and Smitty. I know. I saw it. I did see the replay. Such an amazing catch. Appreciate you all. See you on Rumble. The link is pinned. Go now, go now, go now, go now. Live on Rumble right now.